So in India also it was a time of great ferment and change, especially for all of us that were influenced by the movements abroad. Within the film industry, it was also a period of great change, this the 70s. Because in the 70s, all the big stars that had been with the industry, most of the big stars, were waning. Dilip Kumar, Devanand, Raj Kapoor, the Holy Trinity, you know, they were sort of past their prime. Although Raj Kapoor continued as a filmmaker to be very strong. The other big actors of that period, like Jitendra, Rajendra Kumar, what's his name, Biswajit, etc. There were big names. All were fading out in the 70s, and in their place was coming a whole new generation of actors. Rajesh Khanna was the first big phenomenon of the time. That kind of frenzy the industry has not seen even today, where people were, I mean, the streets were filled outside his house. He couldn't move. It was a phenomenon that people have only marveled at but never equaled. Then, with the success of Zanjeer, after 4 or 5 failures, Amitabh consolidated his hold as the angry young man. And there was a whole new generation of actors that came into play, Vinod Khanna, Sanjeev Kumar, and many others. And so my point is it was a time of transition, and that is the time when I entered the industry. Now, the first film of mine that was released was a film called Halchal. Now, the producer was a person called O.P. Ralhan, who had done a film called Phool Aur Patthar with Dharmender and made a big success out of it. So, when he came to sign me, I said, "Sir, what's the story?" He said, "Kamal hai. मैं धर्मेंद्र ਨੂੰ हीरो बनाता, तू story पूछ रहे हैं? शर्म नहीं आंदी?" So I said, no, absolutely, sir, no question. You do what you like, sir. So he narrated the story to me. I thought I was the lead in the film. Then Zeenat Aman was also in the film. She was narrated the story. She also thought she was the lead in the film. Turns out Ralhan himself was the lead in the film. Ralhan was the hero and Helen was the heroine. And both Zeenat and I had 2 separate roles where we barely met each other. And unfortunately, the film also didn't do too well. But shortly after that, I met Raj Khosla, one of our legendary filmmakers, a deeply sensitive man, who I thank from my heart for all that he did for me. And he cast me in a film called Kache Dhage with Vinod Khanna. And that film became a big success. It was my first big hit in the industry. You know, it's never easy starting out. It's all very well saying I got this film and it became a hit. The fact is there's a lot of period in between where you take a lot of rejection. And that's something you must understand in this business. You have to take a lot of rejection. And I can only urge you not to take that rejection personally. Because whoever is rejecting you is trying to find the best person as he sees it. He may not be right. He has a certain criteria. And he will keep changing till he finds the right person. So if he rejects you, it's not because of your inadequacies necessarily. It might be, but not necessarily. But because he or she wants or had something different in mind. So it's important not to take this rejection personally. I remember I'd go to meetings I'd be called to this big theatre, Maratha Mandir, where somebody's sitting upstairs. I'd walk in, they'd look at me like a piece of meat. They say, "Acha, iske eyebrows bahut zara bhari hain, zara kam karwa denge." You know, it's like there's no respect for who you are, who you've chosen to be. They will shape you. But those are the challenges more of an actor, because as actors we are really limited by who we are, what we look like, what we sound like, the image we give. Whereas as filmmakers, you are limited only by your minds, your technical ability, your ability to sell yourselves, and your ability to raise funds or market your films. So those are very different set of skills. In a sense, the actor is at a very unfortunate place because no matter how good you think you are, ultimately somebody has to say, I want you. But today, you can pretty much set your agenda, as it were. You can set your agenda. I had come from theatre and so saw myself as a more serious actor. I didn't want to sort of be a performer in that sense, like an entertainer. I wanted to be more serious, considered a serious actor, which is in a sense not the smartest thing to do, because a lot of roles that you are expected to do here are roles that demand stereotypes. They don't want any great creativity necessarily. But I remember there was the producer of a film called Hathi Mere Sathi came to me. He is a South Indian producer, and he arrived at my house with a bag of cash, and he said, "Sir, I want for Hathi Mere Sathi, you perform." I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "You perform, sir, perform something." I was so offended that somebody just asked me to perform that I refused, and I lost the film. Rajesh Khanna had no hesitation and promptly signed the film. So it just goes to show that you shouldn't let ego get in the way of things. In retrospect, I should have performed. I should have done what it took to get the job if I wanted it. And that's another one of the important lessons. I had one more hit in the period. There was a film called Nagin I did with Sunil Dutt and Jitendra and Reena Roy and Feroz Khan, etc. That was also a hit. But there was somewhere a dissatisfaction within me, because much as I loved song and dance in film, and I still do, I still enjoy seeing Bollywood songs, Bollywood dancers. I think we do it better than anybody in the world. But I never fancied myself as a singing, dancing star. I somehow came to the theatre and had these conceptions that I wanted to be a more serious actor. And so I realized that if you don't want to be a singing, dancing star, you really don't have much of a future in Bollywood. And you have to find some other track to go on. So there was this whole question of the wider world that I wanted to discover.